As we delve into Colorado's political landscape in 2024, it's essential to understand what this means and why it holds relevance. Colorado has emerged as a fascinating political tapestry, often labeled as a purple state, due to its blend of conservative and liberal ideologies. Understanding this landscape involves recognizing Colorado's shift towards a more progressive stance over the past few election cycles, culminating in its decision to vote Democrat in 2024. The significance of Colorado's political orientation is crucial in analyzing the dynamics of the 2024 election. Traditionally known for its conservative roots, the state has evolved, influenced by an influx of younger, more progressive voters in urban areas like Denver and Boulder. This demographic change has been further fueled by a diverse economy, encompassing booming tech industries and a strong outdoor culture, attracting individuals with varied political perspectives. In 2024, these factors coalesce to reinforce the Democratic foothold in the state. For instance, the passage of voter-friendly policies such as mail-in voting, combined with the state's proactive stance on environmental issues, mirrored the priorities of the state's growing progressive base. Another example is Colorado's embrace of social equality measures, which have resonated with suburban and younger voters, creating an appeal that transcends traditional partisan boundaries. Nonetheless, it's vital to consider opinions within conservative circles that acknowledge this shift, not as a permanent realignment, but as a call to action. Many argue that with strategic realignment and messaging, Colorado could pivot back to the Republican camp. Highlighted by conservative voices, the critique is often aimed at perceived overreach in Democratic policies, particularly regarding taxation and regulation, which some believe could eventually alienate centrist and economically minded voters. However, challenges arise from this analysis, such as recognizing that the diverse and evolving demographics may continue to lean towards progressive ideals. Additionally, controversies surround the notion of whether policy adjustments are enough to sway voters or if deeper ideological shifts are necessary. Ultimately, Colorado's political landscape in 2024 serves as a microcosm for broader national trends, influencing and reflecting shifts seen across the United States. Understanding this landscape not only helps explain why Colorado voted Democrat, but also sets the stage for exploring why it might switch to Republican in the future. By examining these intricacies, we gain insights into how political climates can rapidly transform and how strategic approaches can sway the balance in subsequent elections. In examining the factors that led Colorado to vote Democrat in the 2024 elections, it is essential to understand the state's unique political landscape and the evolving demographic trends. Colorado has been considered a purple state due to its blend of urban liberal voters and conservative rural areas. However, the demographic shifts and socio-political dynamics have increasingly leaned toward Democratic preferences, especially in urban areas like Denver and Boulder. The significant factor here is the influx of younger, more diverse populations and educated professionals who tend to favor democratic policies on issues such as climate change, healthcare, and social equality. The importance of examining these factors lies in understanding the changing priorities of the Colorado electorate. The Democratic vote in 2024 can be seen as a reflection of the state's growing emphasis on progressive issues. For instance, younger voters in Colorado have shown substantial support for Democratic initiatives such as renewable energy projects, which align with their environmental concerns. Additionally, Colorado's legalization of marijuana, which had bipartisan support but was more strongly championed by Democrats, has attracted a demographic that generally aligns with liberal social policies. A specific example of this trend is the support for higher education funding and student debt relief, which resonates with Colorado's young professional demographic. Another instance is the health care reforms proposed by Democrats, appealing to voters who prioritize access to affordable health care. The support for these policies has been bolstered by public opinion, favoring progressive stances on these critical issues. While there is significant support for these democratic policies, some concerns and controversies exist. Critics argue that the focus on progressive policies might alienate moderate or conservative voters, especially in rural areas, who are concerned about government overreach and fiscal responsibility. There is also the potential challenge of addressing the needs of a diversifying electorate while managing the expectations of long-time residents. Connecting this to the broader topic, the Democratic vote in 2024 sets the stage for a dynamic political dialogue about Colorado's future, as the state continues to grapple with balancing urban growth with rural needs. Understanding the reasons behind the Democratic victory is crucial for conservatives seeking to appeal to a broader range of voters in subsequent elections. By analyzing these trends, one can anticipate potential shifts in voter sentiment, providing an opportunity for Republicans to recalibrate their strategies and address the evolving priorities of the Colorado electorate. In examining the reasons behind Colorado's decision to vote Democratic in the 2024 election, from a positive conservative perspective, it's vital to acknowledge the alluring aspects of Democratic policies in the state. These policies, known for their progressive stance, have resonated with many Coloradans due to their focus on inclusivity, environmental sustainability, and economic growth. Understanding these attractive elements and their significance creates a nuanced viewpoint for conservatives to craft a strategy for future elections. One major aspect of Democratic policies in Colorado is the significant emphasis on environmental protection and renewable energy. Colorado has been at the forefront of pursuing green initiatives, driven by the recognition of climate change as a critical issue. The Democrats' commitment to reducing carbon emissions and prioritizing clean energy sources has not only showcased environmental stewardship, but also spurred job creation in the green sector. This dual benefit of economic opportunity and environmental responsibility holds considerable appeal, especially in a state renowned for its natural landscapes and outdoor culture. Another noteworthy feature is the advancement of healthcare reforms aimed at increasing accessibility and affordability. Democrats in Colorado have made strides in expanding Medicaid and implementing state-specific healthcare models to ensure broader coverage. This focus addresses the concerns of many residents burdened by healthcare costs and supports a healthier workforce, which is essential for economic productivity. By alleviating such pivotal concerns, Democratic policies have further cemented their support among voters. Supporters argue that these policies reflect a forward-thinking approach to governance. They are seen as fostering an inclusive society that values both social welfare and economic growth. However, from a conservative perspective, challenges arise concerning the long-term fiscal sustainability of such expansive policies and potential over-regulation that could stifle individual enterprise and burden taxpayers. Though Democrats' recent success in Colorado reflects their ability to align policies with pivotal voter priorities, this also offers an opportunity for conservatives. By understanding these points, conservatives can develop counter-narratives that appeal to independent-minded voters. This entails emphasizing pragmatic environmental policies that balance growth with conservation and presenting healthcare alternatives that prioritize efficiency and individual choice. Additionally, they can highlight potential downsides to increased regulation and taxation implied by Democratic policies. Ultimately, recognizing the attractive aspects of Democratic policies provides a foundation for conservatives to create a compelling vision for the future. By doing so, they can potentially engage undecided voters and sway the political pendulum back in their favor in forthcoming elections. Analyzing the appeal of Republican values involves understanding the core principles that could sway voters towards the Republican Party in future elections, such as personal responsibility, limited government, economic freedom, and traditional social values. These principles resonate with voters who prioritize individual liberties and economic prosperity, representing a philosophical approach that sees government intervention as often detrimental to personal and economic growth. The significance of this point is crucial, as it presents a strategic opportunity for Republicans to connect with Colorado voters by highlighting issues that strike a chord with their values and lived experiences. One compelling example is the emphasis on economic growth and job creation. Republicans often advocate for reducing taxes and government regulations, arguing that such policies encourage entrepreneurship and stimulate job opportunities. This approach may appeal to Colorado's burgeoning business community and tech industries seeking a more business-friendly environment. Another example is the Republican commitment to upholding the Second Amendment. In a state like Colorado, where outdoor activities and gun ownership are important to a significant portion of the population, this stance can resonate deeply with voters who see gun rights as integral to their personal freedom. Supporters of Republican values argue that these principles foster a climate of innovation and self-reliance, countering what they perceive as the inefficiencies and overreach of a large, centralized government. This perspective posits that a free market approach leads to a more vibrant, adaptable, and prosperous society. However, potential challenges to the appeal of Republican values include the evolving demographics and social attitudes in Colorado, which may lean towards more progressive stances, particularly on social issues like healthcare and environmental policy. Critics argue that a strict adherence to traditional conservative values might not fully address the diverse needs and priorities of a modern electorate, including younger and more diverse voter bases. The analysis of Republican values connects to the broader discourse on why Colorado might switch to Republican in the next election by identifying issues and narratives that resonate with the electorate. By crafting messages that align with the values and priorities of Colorado's citizens, Republicans could potentially build a significant coalition. Understanding these dynamics not only helps anticipate potential shifts in political alignment, but also provides insights into the strategic framing needed for Republicans to make inroads in the state. This analysis lays the foundation for assessing how these values might influence future voting patterns, offering key insights into potential political transitions in Colorado.